Hello, everybody. How's it going there? Got Killer Rats, we got Heather, we got Alejandro Reyes. And let's see if this is going to go live. Tell me if you see me now. If you see me, say hello or something in chat. That way I know you're there. And I know you see my screen. Hopefully, you can see me out there. At another live stream is because if you look right up here, the very first video I ever uploaded to YouTube, aside from the channel intro, was public. Went straight into um, on Friday and today. I was filling in for a guy on a TV show called Gifted, The Gifted, which I don't even know what network, but it's a Marvel show. And thank you. Um, and so that's all I really know about it. I mean, it's fun to work on. The people over there are great. The crew's great. Cast is great. Everybody seems really awesome. And the show is, it pays well and that kind of thing. So it's good. I was happy over there. And then this weekend I did a 2-day commercial for Verizon. You'll see it eventually. It's starring Gayton from Stranger Things. So if you happen to see it on the air, you'll know I was the guy that did the sound for it, which is kind of cool. So here I am yet again. We're going to be editing the video for tomorrow. Here goes my clapping. 1, 2, 3, and hold my breath. And there's a little pop. That was it. Right around here. And that's going to be what I sample for my sound. And when I say for my sound, I mean, of course, I'm getting rid of the background noise. I'm sampling the background noise in Reaper right now. Okay, that's a nice sample. Turn that off. And now, if I were to, you hear that? It's kind of fighting it. It's actually removed the background noise pretty effectively. And if I grab my gate here, man, I need to set my presets. Every stream I say the same thing. I'm going to reset my noise floor there. Turn on EQ, my de-esser, and a little bit of compression. When I say a little bit, I mean way too much probably. I need to go back in and change my settings now. But regardless, I'm going to go render this thing onto PC, editing, balance. What is tonight's video on? You see it says balance. Well, in the film industry, we actually have to balance a shock mount when we use a boom microphone inside of a shock mount. So there's a lot of people out there that I've trained and talked to even that drive me nuts with how they quote unquote balance a microphone inside of a shock mount. They do things very wrong. And I've gone and filled in for people before and just not been happy with the way that people balance, like the sound utilities balance my shock mounts. It just drives me nuts. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a video today briefly talking about how to properly balance a microphone inside of a shock mount. That's what I'm talking about. Now, here's a bunch of happy clipping. Now, it hasn't clipped in a while, which is good. But right through there, you saw some clipping happen. We'll pull it back in. Here, I'll show you in a second what we do. If you missed it last week, then that's the nature of the fun that I have with my settings. And yes, I don't need to be as aggressive with my compression. As a matter of fact, some people might look at my just blanket process for the sound that goes out and say that's kind of crazy. And in many ways, it probably is. But it's a talking head show. I mean, the videos that I do are basically talking head. So as long as you can hear me on a good quality microphone, which I have, and good quality preamps, which I have, recorder, put in the system, as long as it is processed a certain way, you're probably not going to tell much of a difference. What program I'm using to edit right now is Reaper. As you can see, I've actually registered, and there I go using a phrase I hate. I hate it when people say, as you can see. That's overused like crazy. Now that I've said that, every time you watch a YouTube video, as you can see, this does this, as you can see. I hate that. I've been trying not to use that. Then, of course, what do? I use, of course, which I also hate. Let's just get right in there with the hate on this 1-year anniversary here live stream. Okay, so this now is edited. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and bring up Audio Director, and I'm going to bring up Power Director. Audio Director, let's open up the audio we just got through doing first. Balance. Oops, where did my chat go? There it is. Okay, the clipping that I had, I like the declipping in this audio program called Audio Director. And if you notice all my peaks right over here, they're kind of a little bit, down below. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to use clipping removal, turn it to high quality, set it to 0 dB. The reason I'm setting it to 0 dB is because I'm going to run it through a limiter here in a second. Oops, look at that. I could do an update if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that right now. And as soon as this is declipped, which it now is, you see how it's no longer as hot? I'm going to go over here, adjust audio. Actually, no, it's not under there. It's apply effect, dynamic range control. Okay, now in order for me to be happy with this, I need to attach a limiter. I usually put about a 2.5 to 1 limiter on there. All those settings I'll just leave as standard. Now watch what happens as I start to lower this. See how it's actually lowering everything? I don't want to necessarily do it too much, but I am going to take out just some of these peaks. Just a few of the peaks. And then what I'll do is I'll raise the audio level back up if I so feel like it. Not that happy with that. Let me maybe, oh, that's because it's, for whatever reason, the compressor was on. But I might do some compression too. Let's do 2.5 on that. It's not 25. That would be pretty bad. Let's actually do an adjustment there. See, I'm going to have to do a lot of that. I'll just do this a little bit. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Hey, Alan, how are you doing? How's the stream so far? Well, it's just started, so it's only been on a few moments. You can watch me do my audio here and my typical destruction of the sound. A joke. I'm going to go ahead and apply this, and now, as crazy as it's going to sound, I can now boost this up. Let's boost it up like 3 dB. And it's going to now clip again. I'm pretty aggressive with this because it's in post. I found that like even if it clips let me show you this. Where is it? See, that peak is now no longer there really. Where are you? There's no real peak there. Let's try this peak over here. Zaps away pretty quickly. Where are you? Okay, you're right on it, right there. But there's no peak there. It's good you were a little quiet, though. Oh, geez, I know exactly why. Man, it's because I just got through recording. Sorry about that. My level was lower, so that should help. Sorry about that. Thanks for pointing that out. Is that level better? Hopefully. I'm peaking a little bit hotter now. I might go up a little bit more on the gain. That should hopefully be better. Man, that's almost... Is that too much for you? That is my final answer. That's my final. And then just to verify, yes. What I'll do is I'll go over here to restore, and then I'll do the same thing, clipping removal, and it's probably not going to find anything this time. No, it's not going to. What I can do, though, if I want to, is I can actually squash it down to whatever level and then expand it back up, but I don't need to do that. Look at that. It's currently, I'm just going to take it down to 3 dB. And we'll go ahead and do any clipping above basically 3 dB. We're going to lower it down. It's better now. Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Heather. I just got done editing a video, and you're working on one. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this. Produce audio. And as always, I will call... Nope, not inside of patterns. This one is going to be inside of balance, and I'm going to call it balance ready. Okay, and 48K, 24-bit, mono, yes. Yeah, Heather had my back on that one. She acknowledged that, showed me that it was lower level. See, the microphone that I'm currently using is my favorite one, DPA 4018, I'm sorry, 4017B. And if I put it right there, since it's a shotgun, it's right here, but yet it's not in front of me. Which, I don't like microphones in front of my face, even though, as it's been pointed out recently in a video that you should check out, which is pretty cool. And Heather, you can help me out on this. But Andrew recently did this. It was a video called "You're Talking into Your Microphone Wrong," I think, or is it? I think that was it. I watched two videos back to back, and they were both talking about how you don't have to do certain things like you can have your microphone visible when you talk into something when you're streaming or doing a podcast or something. Um, it's a fun video, but I never like having a microphone in front of my face. I look at the video and I look at it, and I guess it's because I'm a boom operator and I don't like seeing microphones in the frame. But regardless, um, okay, so let's get back into this thing. Edit. I always start with right here. This is my default templates. So there we go. And I'm going to load up my clips that are specific to this project. It's under balance, which would be balance ready. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all those. Those are the video clips. Now, what's interesting about this is when I select all of these and bring them down, it's got to build the sound for them all. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for this. No, I mean, by all means, if you happen to notice something like that, please point it out. I don't want to do a stream that's crazy. I mean, the microphone sensitivity of this is a lot hotter. Plus, it's closer than the microphone up there that I normally use for the actual stream itself, or for the presentation videos itself. Like this right here was shot about an hour ago, so I finished it and come straight in here to the edit. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save the project as, because currently it's set as my start template, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go to balance. I'm going to do this as balance. So in this video, caps lock's on. Okay. So yeah, if thanks for joining me here tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. It could be about I don't want to say anything, but there's a lot of cool things out there that we could talk about tonight as I'm editing. If you have any questions, by all means. Okay, now it's going to be building this right here, this sound. But what I am going to do is, since all of my picture is now up and ready, you know what I could do? What I will do, as a matter of fact, is I'll go ahead and select all of these, and I'm going to unlink the audio to the video, and then delete out all the audio. Now, normally you would say, that's so bad. Why are you doing that? Look at that. Okay, it just popped in there. Now, check this out. Here's what I'm going to do. Let me disable those tracks. That way they're not going to distract. I'm going to hit play. Oops, what are we doing here? Uh-oh. Something's happening. There we go. It's me holding my breath. And actually, I start with clapping right over here. And right there, first frame. Back a frame. Into a frame. Now, watch this. See that? That is the start of my brilliant, great. And right there is the first frame. Hey, almost balanced up. So I can grab this and bring that over. It's a little on the far side. So it could go either forward or backwards. I'll call it there. Now, if I were to hit play, oops, I have to engage the track. Okay. Hi, the Lithicums. Thanks for joining. All right, so I always start off with the same thing, which is me clapping. As soon as I hit record, I start with the clapping. 2, 3. Hold my breath. This is my noise floor. Then the next thing I do is I do my icons. Well, trying to figure out which shock mounts and what I wanted to do and how I wanted them arranged and all this kind of goodness. Then we start making faces and doing all the wonderful fun things you can see me do in the thumbnails. So help me watch for one. You know what I need to do first? Let's go over here. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, that's going to work. First thing I'm going to do is I got to crop in. I shoot this in 2.7K. So I need to crop in just a little bit. It helps me lose the background. And there's really no... This also helps me. You see this square right there? Is it centered? No, it's not. Actually, I need to go out here. No. And the first thing I need to do is de-crookedify it. Right back into picture-in-picture. Power tools over there and video rotation, go back. Okay, that should do it. And then if I copy that keyframe, should be able to paste it on all of them. Good. Video rotation. So now they should all match. Good. All right. Coming over here. Geez, master of freeze frames. There we go. At least I'm smiling in that one. Don't look as crazy. Zoom in. Now I'm going to center this little square here right there on this grid. This is my center line. That's close enough right there. Might give myself a little bit of headroom. And there we go. From there, I can copy that keyframe and paste it along the way. And this should all say video rotation. Whoa. Well, it looks all like it's matching to me. Sound speeds, and whether you're man, look at this. I've only gone almost 12 minutes into this thing. I'm still doing the opening. I'm so bad at this, people. You really have no idea. Amateur or professional sound person? Yeah, amateur or professionals. Professional sound person, terrible at voiceover. Sound speeds, and whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me. Blah, 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 right there. Greetings from Germany. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in here. So, the Lithicums and Robert Lithicum. Tell me the difference, because I noticed both names have sometimes showed up in my comment section, but I don't know, is like one a family account? Do you have like multiple different ones? Because it looks like you're in here twice. Sound speeds and sound speeds. Sound speed. Shock mounts coming. Okay. Shock mounts coming. So that's the one. Man, I didn't realize I was yelling so loud. Sound speeds. Man, I'm yelling. All right. Sound speeds. Yell it, why don't you? All right, so 314. 214 right there. And we'll mark it. Anything before, we'll get rid of. Gotcha. So you... Okay, so you're actually watching me in your living room and on your computer? You're watching me on two different computers in your house? And so it is one of my family members. So you actually have multiple people in the same household that watch my videos. That's pretty amazing. Is everybody in your house a big sound geek? As if so, it's very much not like my house. My house is, I'm the only sound geek there. My daughters love making fun of me for that. You know, they'll see something else arrive. They always say, "Dad, what did you buy this time?" And honestly, I buy so many things on Amazon, I forget how much I buy and forget what I buy. And then I'll end up saying, I don't know what I bought. And then they just make fun of me. They're like, Dad, you can't remember what you did. I'm like, look, since I hit 40 years old, I don't remember anything anymore. I mean, it's really crazy. I'm glad I have a wife that remembers stuff because I sure don't. It's like sometimes to joke with my kids after telling them I don't know anything. I don't remember anything. I'll look at them and say, I'll go into the kitchen, I'll get a drink, and I'll walk back to the house, and I'll quickly look startled when I see them. I'm like, who are you? And they're like, your daughter. I'm like, oh, okay. You're allowed to be here then. I always have to mess with them. I'm a big prankster. Sound speeds. Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a boom microphone in a noisy shock mount is going to give you unacceptable results in every way, shape, matter, and form. Jeez, did I really stutter on the real one? Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a boom microphone in a noisy shock mount is going to give you unacceptable results. Oh, man. Well, thank you for being sound nerds. I love sound nerds. Thanks for coming and sharing my videos with your family. It's funny. My wife, what she used to do when I told her don't do that was when I was early in my YouTubing here, I should say, to help me out, what she would, or she would, to help me out, she would watch the video from her phone. She would put it on, and then she realized very shortly she got bored by it. So the first thing she would do is she'd bring the sound all the way down, and she'd just put she'd put the phone down and let it play. I'm like, you're not even watching it. If you're not going to watch it, then don't even bother. And then she's like, okay. So let me see. Sound speeds. Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a boom microphone in a noisy shock mount is going to give you unacceptable results in every way, shape, matter, and form. Okay. Even though I know that's going to drive me nuts, that stutter, man. Should I fix it? Let me see. Let me see what this one before is. That's one. Unlike audio and video. Leave gap. And expand this out. Let's see what is actually before that. So we'll get rid of. So bring that back up. Let's hear what this one is. Sound speeds. Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a boom microphone in a... Oh my gosh. Am I really lisping all over the place? Sound speeds. Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a boom microphone in a noisy shock mount is... Sound speeds. And whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a... Sound speeds. And whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that by putting... Man. Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that... Sound speeds. Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a boom microphone in a... Sound speeds. Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting... You know what? They're all bad. All right, I'm not going to nitpick this thing together because... Oh, man. That's terrible. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just... I'm going to go with that because apparently it's not getting any better. That's terrible. I'm going to have to apologize to everyone because I just could not get my stuttering square. All right, so let's see. 27, that's going to go to 27 there. That's the fade in point. Man. So I was talking to some people in a Discord chat the other day, and it is crazy to think about the very first movie I did, which was back in 2001. I didn't do the whole thing, but that movie was garbage, and it was so funny to even think about it. I was like, oh man, I can't even believe I'm thinking about it. It used to be on Netflix. I'm glad it's not anymore. It was called The Greenskeeper. Terrible, terrible movie. Something's not right. Sounds... Yeah. Sound. Jeez, that is yelling. Man. All right. I'm just going to straighten that up. I don't want to spend all night on this. This one little bitty part. I have, I think, 14 clips, something like that I got to edit. We'll see. I don't know. Right over here, take it down to 15. That's the reason why a lot of videos on YouTube instantly start with somebody's voice being cut off, and I hate that. So what I did was I put my video where it starts with half a second of black, and then it fades up before anything. So if it starts a second later, whatever, you'll catch me in the middle of the fade up. All right, now I have a little bit of clipping happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower that. Why aren't you adjusting? Okay, so it's not clipping there. Just starting to 0.03. Okay, so I'm not going to go any higher than that. All right, fade in. And sound speeds. Whether you're an amateur or a professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a boom microphone in a noisy shock mount is going to give you unacceptable results in every way, shape, matter, and form. It's no fun butchering these videos. Hey, Alan, I wish I had some proper gear to make up my own videos. You know, you can get some good stuff. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get decent stuff now, man. What do you actually... is it on Amazon Prime? Is what on Amazon Prime? All the stuff I buy? Yeah, but most of the stuff I buy is indeed on Amazon Prime. On Amazon Prime because I'm a geek, man. I can't help but just buying stuff on Amazon. And what's funny is my memory's bad, so I'll forget what I order. I'll say, okay, well, it's out of my shopping cart. I've forgotten about it now because I'll look at it and say, okay, I need something else in my shopping cart. So shopping cart, I'll bring something up. I buy that too, sure. You know, all right, good. All right, then it's out of my shopping cart. I totally forget about it. And then 2 days later, I have like 4 or 5 boxes arrive at the house. And my wife just comes over and she kind of looks at me. I'm like, yeah. She's like, what's in these boxes? I'm like, I don't remember. And she's like, why do you even buy stuff if you don't remember? I'm like, I don't know. And then I open up the boxes and I'm like, oh, look at this. I wanted one of these things. This is so amazing. And she's like shaking her head. Okay. Let's see. Shock mounts come in all kinds of shapes and shock mounts Shock mounts like a Sonella is designed specifically. Okay. Shock mounts come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, and this is. Oh man, I hope I didn't stumble that word because it looks like this is the right one. Okay, right there. And let's fill that gap. So we'll try this. See if that works. In form. Shock mounts come in all. That is okay. I'm going to actually overlap this by 1 frame. Check it. In form. Shock mounts come. I like that. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to do my typical expand by... I'm going to expand by 2 on the front end. Expand on 3 on the back end. So now I just need to overlap them. When I say crossfade, I go over here to transitions. Here's the fire transition that you see me use sometimes. The evaporate, that is, okay, that's evaporate. That's what I use to dissolve on masked mics when I reveal the mics. And then sometimes I'll use this if it's like an interview going in and out. And then my typical one is the white circle, which it's supposed to be there, but you can only see if I do this number. Boom, right there. Okay. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I did that. Okay, I forgot to do my... Okay, you'll know exactly what I forgot to do. I'll show you. I did not... Yeah, it's really amazing Oh, thanks very much, Robert. Appreciate that. You know, your videos look pro. It's like I think it's called My History or something like that. It's like an hour and some odd minutes long. Near the end, you'll see me in a very first sound speeds test, which I did I think about May. That was the very first like me testing, and I did not like the fact that it was just my background looked like garbage. I was wearing just a regular red shirt. My eye had just like been bothering me, so I took my contact out, but my eye was red, and just it just looked like a nightmare. Everything about it was bad. And I looked at it and I said, yeah, if I did a video like that, if I did a channel like that, and I was just on a regular background, looking like a complete doofus, and doesn't matter what I'm saying, it's not going to come across. The message is not delivered right. If I have a more professional looking background, it's going to, you know, it's going to at least look like it's going to make somebody stop for a second and at least, you know, consider, you know, watching, even if they have no interest, because at least, you know, it's more presentable. So what I do here is I want to find, first of all, let me set this to full HD, which is good. Okay, I got to find this intro, this snapshot picture. When I find something, we'll freeze it. That almost looked good. Handful of shock mounts. Close. Kind of like that. 45, 18, 11. Give a smile or something. Don't look like a nightmare. No. No. Oh, come on now. Go back. Look half asleep. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for coming in, checking in tonight, man. I'm going to just go ahead and run with that right there. Thanks for coming in. I'll see you around, man. Take care, Alejandro. Good night. Balance is what we're calling this. Snapshot, that's fine. And just because, no. Okay, I put them all down, so that means I was done. And I'm going to change this over because I find that it's a little better results when I put it to high preview mode because of the stream. All right, so let's listen to this clip. Enable sound. That's always helpful. Here we go. Way, shape, matter, and form. Shock mounts come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, and the suspension can be made of anything from plastic isolators to elastic bands. And you have to understand how those work and how they properly balance a microphone in order to prevent them from making noise. Cool. Noise. Okay, where's the next part? Shock mounts like Sonella shock mount. Shock mounts like a Sonella. But picking the right shock mount can't... Oh, look at that. I might have gotten that one right quickly. Let's go back one and fill the gap. In order to prevent them from making noise. Shock mounts like a Sonella. Good. I like that one. So I'm just going to overlap it by one. From making noise. Shock mounts like... Good. All I'm doing is I'm moving this over, and by overlapping it by one, it takes out any little pops or whatever you might hear. It's no big deal. It's a very quick crossfade. And then what I always do is a 6-second transition, which is that that little circle that comes out right there. So shock mounts like that little thing right there. Like a Sonella is designed specifically for one microphone, and by putting it securely inside, the microphone will be held precisely as designed by the plastic isolators. And so if you put a different microphone in there, it's going to be weighted different and not effective in a Sonella. Yes, because Sonella is extremely premium. Sonella. In a Sonella. Sinella makes really solid stuff. I really like their stuff at all. And I'm actually the Leonard balls that I did, the Leo 25 and the Leo 20 that I recently talked about in a product review. Those I swear by. Those things I've used for years, and they redesigned the Leonard balls, and I said, please, 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 you got to send me some to test. And they sent me replacements for the ones I had. I just had to keep the outside material, so they just sent me the inside. But picking the right shock mount can be trouble. Picking the right shock mount can, but picking the right shock mount for your microphone can drive you crazy because it's not picking the right shock mount for your microphone is very important because it's not as simple as saying, oh, there's a lot of different schools of. Okay, good. This might be it. Picking the right shock mount for. Okay. Actually, let's go out. Fill the gap. So let's try listening. In a Sinella. Picking the right shock mount. Nope. I'm going to go out 2 frames, and now let's listen. Picking the. And I think if I overlap that by 1, it's going to be great. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Missed it. Effective in a Sinella. Picking the right shock mount for your microphone is very important because it's not as simple as saying, oh, look, my microphone will fit inside of there. It's going to hold it just fine. No, there's a little bit more to it than that. What is my favorite shock mount style? More to it than that. I love the Lyres. I really do like the Lyre suspensions. Those things are solid as a rock. They're extremely quiet. They're very versatile. They're cheap. There's a lot of different schools of thought. There's a lot of different ways to balance a microphone. And sound people all have different opinions on how to properly balance a shock mount. Sound people all over the world have their own preferences on how to properly balance a shock mount. Sound people all over the world have their preferences. Sound people all over the world have their preferences on how they like to properly balance their. Sound people all over the world have their preferences. Sound people all over the world have their preferences on how. So many outtakes. Sound people all over the world have their preferences on how they like to properly balance their microphone. Sound people all over the world have their preferences on how they, just like any other profession. Yeah, exactly. Shock bout. Sound. Okay. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. No, there's a little bit more to it than that. Sound people. Okay, that's perfect. So, let me overlap them correctly. 1. Let me see. More to it than that. Sound people. Actually, I don't even think it needs it. More to it than that. Sound people. Nope, doesn't even need it. So, I'm going to go over here. Build that crossfade. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and overlap. 6 total. Transition, and more to it than that. Sound people all over the world have their preferences on how they like to properly balance their microphones inside of their shock mounts. Just like how they have their favorite microphones, they also have their favorite shock mounts, and they swear that their preferences are the very best ones. Okay. Yeah, I really like the Lyres. The Envision 6 and the Envision 7, the USM. Alrighty. And just like any other professional sound person, I too have my own. And just like any other professional sound person, just like any other professional sound person, I too have my own favorite preferences when it comes down to shock mounts. And just like any other professional sound person, I too have my own favorite preferences when it comes down. And just like any other professional sound person, I too have my own preferences when it comes down to shock mounts. And I have used everything from Universal K-Tex to the McDonald mounts. But for this demonstration, I'm going to be using one of my favorites, which is the Rycote Envision 7 Lyre. Yes, that was good. And just like it... Okay, over there. Booyah. And fill the gap. Fill the gap. Let's try that again. That their preferences are the very best ones. And just like any other professional sound... That's why I have to proof listen, because I would have missed it. And just like any other... You know, as sound people, we make people sound better than they deserve. Best ones. And just like any other... Best ones. And just like any other... Yeah. Best ones. And just like any other... Okay, that's going to work. Sure. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Best ones. And just like any other professional sound person, I too have my own preferences when it comes down to shock mounts. And I have used everything from Universal K-Tex to the McDonald mounts. But for this demonstration, I'm going to be using one of my favorites, which is the Rycote Envision 7 Lyre. Okay. Oh man, it's starting to fade quickly tonight. Just like anything else in life, I find that balance is key when positioning a boom microphone within a shock mount. And in this video, and just like anything else in life, I find that balance is... Man, mispressed a button again. Okay. Is the Rycote Envision 7 Lyre. Just like anything else in life, I find that balance is key. Okay, that's going to be fine. 3. I think I did a good job. Did I actually doze just a second ago? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a Zip Fizz. I'll be right back. Okay, here is what a Zip Fizz does. Just like an emergency, Zip Fizz is something you add to a drink to... Shut up. Yeah. Dozing off on the stream. Can't even stay awake for the own damn editing. I think I did a good job of cleaning up my audio from the video I just shot using my Samson CO2. About 9 inches from my mouth in an untreated room. Had gain cranked as well. Well, send me a link. Shoot me an email with the link in there at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. I'll check it out. I'm interested in people's projects, and I think didn't you post that other one that was pretty cool? That we were talking about on the Discord chat the other day. I forgot what it was now, but it was pretty funny. I'm not funny. It was jeez, there's that memory that can't remember crap. Okay, Zip Fizz. Normally, you would not do this, but you would add it to a 16.9 bottle, fluid ounce bottle of water. I don't do that, though. What I've always done for years... All right, so you dropped it in that Discord. I'll check it out. 7 liar. Just like anything else in life, I find that balance is key when properly positioning your boom microphone within a shock mount. And there's many different schools of thought on how to properly do it. And in this video, I'm going to show you my method. Yes. Some people prefer to put as much of the microphone out front the shock mount as possible. Some people prefer to put a lot of the microphone out front the shock mount. Some people prefer to put as much of the microphone as they can. Some people prefer to put as much of the microphone as they can in front of the shock mount, leaving very little in the back. Looks like this is the one. Looks like this is the winner. Some people Man, so funny. I don't feel old. I really don't. I'm going to show you my method. Some people prefer to put as much of the microphone as they can in... Oh, no. I must have deleted the wrong one. I'm going to show you my method. Some people prefer to put as much of the microphone as they can. Okay. My method. Some people... Good. So I'm going to go 1, 2 over. I think I started this live stream tonight a little bit on the late side. There was a guy that I was working with today who said that he watched one of my live streams, not the Father's Day one, but some other one. My method. Some people prefer to put as much of the microphone as they can in front of the shock mount, leaving very little in the back. That way, when they hold it over an actor, the pole stays higher and the microphone hangs lower. But in my opinion, this isn't ideal or efficient because it's not balanced. It is not balanced. Balanced. Must find the balance. Okay. And in order to find the proper place a microphone inside the shock mount, I first attach the cable. In order to find the... When I'm putting a microphone inside of a shock mount, when I place a microphone inside of a shock mount, I like to find... When I'm putting a microphone inside of a shock mount, I first attach the cable. When I'm putting a microphone inside of a shock mount, I'm finding the proper balance point of a microphone, I first attach the cable. That is, as long as there's equal tension on this. When I'm putting a boom microphone on a shock mount, first I attach the cable. Okay. All right. And I need to move this over. Okay, good. So that means I should be done with that clip. Oh, that could be bad. Because it's not balanced. When I'm putting a boom microphone... Oh, man. Actors or celebrity stories. Wow. Because it's not balanced. When I'm putting a boom microphone on a shock mount, first I attach the... All right. It's not balanced. When I'm putting... Okay. I have a fun one for you. Sean Astin. Putting a boom microphone on a shock mount because it's not balanced. When I'm putting a boom... All right. Sean Astin on the set of Stranger Things Season 2 is telling us that his daughter came to him at one point and said, Dad, can I hit you in the leg as hard as I can? And he just kind of was like, why? And she's like, I just want to. He said, okay, I'll give you one hit. But if you miss or don't like it or something like that, I won't move. But if you want to take a second hit, then I get to hit you back on the leg. And she agreed to it. And she, went back and she hit, but glancing blow right off of his leg. And then she's like, "Oh, Dad, I messed up." And he said, "Remember what I said?" And she's like, "Okay, well, I think it'd be worth it." So she did it again and did hit him really hard on the leg. So he got his turn. And so he hit her back on the leg. And they both thought it was hilarious. And so they went back into this like punching competition back and forth. And his wife walks in and looks at them both like, "What in the world are you thinking? You're just nuts." Efficient because it's not balanced. When I'm putting a boom microphone on a shock mount, first I attach the cable. Then I find the center point where it is going to be perfectly balanced. When I do that, I know exactly where the center of that microphone is, and I drop it in perfectly between two identical suspensions. That is, as long as there's equal tension. Uh-oh. Okay, that's why. Suspensions. That is, as long as there's equal tension on the suspensions themselves. Yeah, there we go. Themselves. Balanced. When I'm putting a boom microphone on a shock mount, first I attach the cable. By doing that, the microphone. With shock mounts, it's a. Okay. Here it is again. By doing that, the microphone is centered by weight. Doing that. Okay. Equal tension on the suspensions themselves. By doing that, the microphone is. Alrighty. So what part of Germany are you from? Robert Lithcomb, what part of Germany are you from? I think this chat's running a slight delay. I mean, you just set the latency for the stream to be faster in the future. Because I think I probably have the bandwidth that I could go up on it since I'm only broadcasting at 720p 30. Hessen. Ugh. And where exactly is that in relation to something like Berlin themselves? By doing that, the suspensions themselves. By doing that, the microphone is centered by weight, balanced by the cable on one side and the extra tip on the other. So why? Are you military? Do you just like Germany? Weight balanced by the cable on one side and the extra tip on the other. So when I hold this over somebody, it is going to be properly balanced now. Let me double check something here. Some people prefer to put as much of the microphone as they can in front of the shock mount, leaving very little in the back. That way, when they hold it over an actor, the pole stays higher and the microphone hangs lower. But in my opinion, this isn't ideal or efficient because it's not balanced. When I'm putting a boom microphone on a shock mount, first I attach the cable. Then I find the center point where it is going to be perfectly balanced. When I do that, I know exactly where the center of that microphone is, and I drop it in perfectly between two identical suspensions. That is, as long as there's equal tension on the suspensions themselves. By doing that, the microphone is centered by weight, balanced by the cable on one side and the extra tip on the other. So when I hold this over somebody, it is going to be properly balanced now. Gotcha. So you're out there enjoying Germany. That's awesome. How are the temperatures there during the day in Germany, like year round? Like what kind of temperatures does it get into in the winter, and how about the summer? Is it overly hot? Is it overly cold? With shock mounts, it's a little bit more difficult because the center. No, I didn't. Okay, that wasn't the one I used. With shotgun microphones, the balance point is much closer to the windscreen, and I do. With shotgun microphones, the balance point on a shotgun microphone. When properly balancing a shotgun microphone, the center. On a shotgun microphone, the balance point is closer to the windscreen, so you can't exactly drop it perfectly centered on an Envision 7. But when properly balancing, no air condition would kill me. When properly balancing a shotgun microphone inside of it. When properly balancing when properly balancing a shotgun microphone, it's going to properly when proper is going to make it more difficult to fit inside. When properly centering a shotgun microphone, the balance point is when properly centering a shotgun microphone on a Division 7. When properly centering a shotgun microphone, man, I am really bad at this. So when you lived in the States before, where exactly did you live? Were you from the North? Balance now. When properly centering... I guess you have to learn German fluently in order to live there. It's probably not a bad thing at all for you, because you're probably like, oh yeah, I can speak German fluently. You can't really I guess you can't really exactly live in Germany unless you know the language. It's not like here in the States where they can claim that English and Spanish are the national languages, but we really all know which one most people speak. Really balance now. When properly centering a shotgun microphone, you'll find that the balance point is closer to the windscreen, and so it's not going to fit properly inside of an Envision 7. But you want that windscreen to stay on there, so don't remove it. So what can you do instead? Did I mess that up? I sure did. Oh, nope. Do instead. There's a fun YouTube video about how to pronunciate things in German, and it sounds so aggressive. It's just funny. I don't want to show it in the middle of the stream, but it's really funny. Well, an Envision 7 is... an Envision... Therefore, your microphone can actually be centered. And an Envision 7 is not going to be your proper... An Envision 7 is not going to be your proper tool for this. Yeah, I imagine. Well, an Envision 7 is... an Envision 7 is not going to be your proper tool for it. An Envision 7 is not going to be your proper tool for this. Instead, an Envision 7 is not going to be... An Envision 7 is not going to be your proper shock mount for this... An Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for this microphone. Instead, opt for an Envision 6. It's smaller, therefore the center of gravity... An Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for a shotgun microphone. Instead, opt for an Envision 6. This allows the microphone center to be closer to the plastic isolators, making it easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Okay, that was good. I think that's probably it. Windscreen to stay on there, so don't remove it. So what can you do instead? An Envision... What can you do instead? An Envision... Okay. That's even now. One more. And 1, 2, 3. Huh. So in German, I love you is... I'm going to botch this so bad. Ich lieb dich. Ich lieb dich. Say, honey, ich lieb dich. That's why I can't pronounce German. I'm terrible at languages. Instead, an Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for a shotgun microphone. Instead, opt for an Envision 6. This allows the microphone center to be closer. Let me see something here. Yeah, okay, so that's right, even though it felt off. Centered to be closer to the plastic isolators, making it easier for you to balance closer to the wind. Balance. It's closer to the wind. Making it easier for you to balance. Okay. That's how far off my audio is. Making it easier for you to balance. Jeez. How in the world did we get that far out? That's terrible. Well, do I need to make any adjustments? Let's go back and see. Efficient because it's not balanced. When I'm putting a boom microphone on a shock mount, first I attach the cable. Then I find the center point where it is going to be perfectly balanced. When I do that, I know exactly where the center of that microphone is, and I drop it in perfectly between two identical suspensions. That is, as long as there's equal tension on the suspensions themselves. By doing that, the microphone is centered by weight, balanced by the cable on one side and the extra tip on the other. So when I hold this over somebody, it is going to be properly balanced now. When properly centering a shotgun microphone, you'll find that the balance point is closer to the windscreen, and so it's not going to fit properly inside of an Envision 7. But you want that windscreen to stay on there, so don't remove it. So what can you do instead? An Envision... Okay, this is now in sync. Okay, so if I bring this over there, I need to bring that over 3 in order to go over like that. So what can you do instead? An Envision 7 is... Okay, I know what I need to do there. I need to overlap them probably by 2 frames. Do instead. An Envision... Yes. Actually, don't. In trim. Wait a second. I'm going to confuse myself here. Instead, an Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for a shotgun microphone. Instead, I have a softbox above me, and I love how much light it's giving off right now. Don't feel like it's midnight. Yeah, it is important when you're doing any kind of video. Do instead, an Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for a shotgun microphone. Instead, opt for an Envision 6. Closer to the windscreen, and so it's not going to fit properly inside of an Envision 7. But you want that windscreen to stay on there, so don't remove it. So what can you do instead? An Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for a shotgun microphone. Instead, opt for an Envision 6. This allows the microphone center to be closer to the plastic isolators, making it easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Yet again, I found the balance point, and watch this. It will fit perfectly. Once again, I found the balance point for this particular microphone, and what? Once again, I have found... Once again, I have... Okay. Making it easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Once again, I have found the center of this mic. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah. Alas, no, I do not. I do have to be up at 7 a.m. though. Balance now. When properly centering a shotgun microphone, you'll find that the balance point. What can you do instead? An Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for a shotgun microphone. Instead, opt for an Envision 6. This allows the microphone center to be closer to the plastic isolators, making it easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Once again, I have found the center of this microphone, and if I hold it and drop it perfectly centered on this Envision 6, you'll notice that it is going to be perfectly balanced right there where I put it. Actually, I think I did that one better. Screen. Once again, I have found the center of this. Once again, although it seems a lot more wobbly, it. Okay, let's see this one. Once again, I have found the center point for this microphone. Now watch what happens. If I drop it in right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Good. That was it. Once again, fill gap. Okay. Okay, here we go. Easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Once again, I have found the center point for this microphone. Closer to the windscreen. Once again, I'm actually going to overlap them. Balance closer to the windscreen. Once again. Okay, since I overlapped it, what I need to do is pull back. I overlapped it by 2 frames. So 2 frames more that way. Garbage. Where was it synced to begin with? Okay. Man, am I dozing again? Sorry, guys. To the windscreen. Once again, I have found the. Oh, no. I need my custom transition. Balance closer to the windscreen. Once again, I have found the center point for this microphone. Now watch what happens. If I drop it in right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still giving plenty of room. Why are you out of sync again? Giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Still giving plenty of room. Plenty of room for that. Easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Once again, I have found the center point for this microphone. Now watch what happens. If I drop it in right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still this. In right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Okay. Although it seems a lot more wobbly. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. How is it that far off? Although it seems a lot more wobbly, it is actually... Man, why... This sound gets so far out of sync so quickly. Plastic isolators, making it easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Once again, I have found the center point for this microphone. Now watch what happens. If I drop it in right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Yes, I don't imagine myself leaving Atlanta anytime in the near future. I'm prepared to if I need to, but I don't see that as being the case. Windscreen. Although it seems more wobbly, it is actually perfectly balanced. Now this microphone is properly balanced inside the shock mount, and even though it seems more wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, it is actually more secure than it would be if you put a properly balanced microphone. Now this microphone is improperly balanced microphone. Although it seems a lot more wobbly, it is actually more balanced. Although it seems more wobbly, it is actually perfectly balanced now in that shock mount. And that, to me, is a much better option than having a lot of the microphone sticking way out in front of the microphone suspension itself, because then it's going to be like all kinds of weighted. Look at this thing. Okay. I think you'll like Power Director. It's by no means the most powerful program. I mean, I've used Edius, I've used Vegas. People have even commented on some of my videos, more powerful editors. But to me, it's quick and easy. It's very simple. If I drop it in right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Although it seems... 2, 3. That windscreen. Although it seems... Okay. Overlap it. Let's overlap it by those 2. That windscreen. Although it seems... Overlap it by 1. For that windscreen. Although it seems... That's our winner. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Let me see here. Directors do repeated takes as you were doing in this. Actors are better at acting than I am at presenting. Most of the time we'll try to do, it really depends on time. Sometimes the directors will say, let's go again, let's go again, let's go again, let's go again. The commercial I did this last weekend, it was very common to do, let's roll. Great, good job. Back to 1, which means while you're still rolling, have the actors go back to their first position. Action. They do it again. Great, back to 1. They start over again. They go back. So it's kind of in the same sense as like what I'm doing here, where I'm just going back to back to back to back to back in takes. But I'm doing it because I'm botching it and I'm wanting to get a good take off. But then after doing like 8 to 10 times per take, we did 25 takes of some of those. So, I mean, they didn't always have like 8. They would sometimes have like 2. Sometimes they would have 15. It would just be crazy. And actors will do it as many times as the directors want them to as a general rule. And that's usually based on how much time do you have in the day. I have already heard Sinatra was a one-take actor, one and only. You know who is done, who's also is Clint Eastwood. Eastwood has a reputation for, most of the time we work about a 12-hour day in the film industry, he'll be done by 6 hours in. His philosophy is directors should be prepared and know exactly what they want. So they come in, they record it, and they get it done. And he's also done playing the game. So as soon as someone runs out of, they'll do 1 take. And then as soon as the take is done, he'll say, great, let's move on. And he won't want to do a safety or anything like that, something to do in case something's corrupt or whatever. He's done with it. He basically says, I got it. That's what I wanted. Let's move on. And he doesn't waste time. So every single day you're like done by lunchtime. for that windscreen. Although it seems more wobbly, it is actually perfectly balanced now in that shock mount. And that to me is a much better option than having a lot of the microphone sticking way out in front of the microphone suspension itself, because then it's going to be like all kinds of weighted. Look at this thing. Okay. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This thing. Look at this thing. Now this microphone is properly balanced in there. So now this microphone is properly balanced inside the shock mount. And even though it seems more wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, so properly... Okay, that's our winner. All kinds of weighted. Look at this thing. Now this microphone is properly balanced. Of weighted. Look at this thing. Now this microphone is... Okay, I need to have it. I know, I feel myself dozing off just for a couple of seconds. And I'm sorry about that. Make all the jokes, the old jokes that you want. That is perfectly fine. I am perfectly at peace of going to sleep on a peaceful computer. Awesome. Okay. Whoops. Instead, an Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for... Can you do instead? An Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for a shotgun microphone. Instead, opt for an Envision 6. This allows the microphone center to be closer to the plastic isolators, making it easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Once again, I have found the center point for this microphone. Now watch what happens. If I drop it in right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Although it seems... Look at this thing. Now this microphone is properly balanced. Oh, you see what I saw? A fade. Now it has a transition. Look at this thing. Now this microphone is properly balanced inside the shock mount. And even though it seems more wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, it is actually more secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Look at this thing. Wait a minute. I did the same take and liked it twice. That's garbage. Let me find the very last take. Improperly balanced microphones. Okay. Let me listen to these two. For that windscreen. Although it seems more wobbly, it is actually perfectly balanced now in that shock mount. And that to me is a much better option than having a lot of the microphone sticking way out in front of the microphone suspension itself, because then it's going to be like all kinds of weighted. Look at this thing. Now this microphone is properly balanced inside the shock mount. And even though it seems more wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, it is actually more secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Look at this thing. How is this good? I like that one better. All right. One, two, one. Okay. So I need to extend this out one more. And I'll go forward with both of these. Okay. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Okay, I've worked 10 days in a row. When I was doing the Nancy Drew movie, we were doing basically, 12, 13-hour days. And then the next time I did The Gifted on Friday and today, those were 12-hour days. But then on Saturday and Sunday, we did 13 and 14-hour days, and it was extremely hot because we were outside the Georgia summer heat. So it was like 90-something degrees, and the humidity was like 65 to 95, depending on what was going on. Screen. Now this still giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Now this microphone is properly balanced inside the shock mount, and even though it seems more wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, it is actually more secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Now watch what happens. If I drop it in right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Now this microphone is properly balanced inside the shock mount, and even though it seems more wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, it is actually more secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Look at this thing. Yeah, it was brutal. Improperly balanced microphones. Is that the last one? Oh, good. I'm in the last few minutes of the edit. So it means I might actually get some sleep. Improperly balanced microphones. Improperly balanced. Improperly. 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 Improperly balanced microphone. Using this method to properly balance a microphone is rubber band type guitar sound. Okay. Improperly balanced. Fill. Garbage. Remove. Why aren't you removing that clip? More wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, it is actually more secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Look at this thing. Room for that windscreen. Now this microphone is properly balanced inside the shock mount, and even though it seems more wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, it is actually more secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Look at this thing. Wait a minute. I said if you put it all... Wait a minute. Okay, now I have the audio back. No. What? Secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Look at this thing. How is this good? Yes, I put my edit point in the wrong place. So watch this. I'm going to do a heel. What is it? Okay. Those two things. Paste. No. Garbage. You know what? I'm just going to do it. Secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Look at this thing. How is this good? Look at this thing. How is this good? Improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts can make all kinds of undesirable... Yes. Improperly balanced... How is this good? Improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts can make all... Okay. This good. Improperly balanced... 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2. There. This good. Improperly balanced microphone... wanted to see that. This thing. How is this good? Improperly balanced microphone... No. Need my transition. Improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts can make all kinds of undesirable sounds. And... No. No. Improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts can make all kinds. Improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts can make all kinds. Using this method. Okay, that was the last one then. Oh, of undesirable sounds. And improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts can make all kinds of undesirable noises. Everything from improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts. Improperly balanced. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. How is this good? Improperly balanced mic. Good. Improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts can make all kinds of undesirable noises. Everything from clicks to whatever you would call it if you stretch your rubber band between two fingers and you gave it a little strum. Dong. Yeah, actually that's part by design. I get driven nuts whenever I watch videos, and it starts off with someone who says, I mean, they'll say, "Hi, and welcome to Sound Speeds. This is a YouTube channel dedicated to give you pro sound advice. Click like and subscribe, and don't forget to press the notification button to keep current with all of my newest releases. And if you don't mind, hit the share button and share someplace with on social media and share with them that you saw this video there. And don't forget to donate also, because donating is very important because it keeps me able to do these videos for you. And now, let's talk about our video. Today we're going to be editing a video. And now let's go to our intro. So now 20 to 30 seconds later, they're done with the intro, and then they do it all over again. They say, "Hi and welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be editing a video, but don't forget to like and subscribe and share." Just like, you know, to me, it's like, if you like the channel, then you will do all of that stuff. You basically will subscribe. You'll do all the stuff over there anyway. Right now, as of this exact moment, I have 1,696 subscribers. I was really hoping by the end of today, being the anniversary of the channel, I was hoping it would be 1,700 before the end of the day. We'll see if it gets up there. You gave it a little strum. Dong. All right, I think I'm getting near the end. Using this method to properly balance your microphone inside the shot. Using this method to properly balance a microphone inside of a shock mount is what I refer to as a best practice. It's worked. Using this method to properly balance a using this method. Okay, so this is the last part. Oh no. Oh, it's because I'm down. I was going to say, did I just delete that? Dong. Using this method. Okay. Dong. Using this method. Well, I hate to say it, but oh, geez, starting to lag again. Sorry, guys. Okay. There. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the sound nerds will find me. Um, hey guys, Eldis here, bringing you guys another video. This is just a quick update on what's going on in the channel. That's about all I say in today's episode. Good. Think the YouTubers describe. Think the longer videos, but the better. But maybe gaming algorithm. Subscriber lists will grow exponentially. You keep it about the content, and there are significant demands for your content. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, and it's not because I'm hoping to be rich or have win one of the play buttons or whatever. That'd be nice, but I know it's never going to happen. Educational YouTube channels are not what you want to do if you're expecting things to be huge. You need to do a gaming channel, a prank channel, something along those lines, a top 20 stupid human trick channel, jackass channel, something like that. Those are the ones that people really like. Rubber band between two fingers and you gave it a little strum. Dong. Using this method to properly balance a microphone inside of a shock mount is what I refer to as a best practice. It served me well for years, and if you don't have a similar best practice or technique that you use, then I strongly recommend that you start with this technique and then modify it and tweak it according to your own preferences. So keep this in mind because I find this to be sound advice. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and that audio is done. And crouch down, homie. Booyah. Okay. There they are. Thank you very much for the compliment. I try really hard. I want the videos to be good. I want them not to waste time. To me, it's very important not to waste people's time because time is extremely important. Time is valuable. You give somebody of your time, that's the best thing in the world you can give. So I try not to waste people's time. Technique and then modify it and tweak it according to your own preferences. So keep this in mind because I find this to be sound advice. Have a question you'd like answered? Good. Okay. And then there's like a lot. And I do another fade out here. That, my friends, may have been the end of it. So, the mount is a air-filled rubber donut. It works so good. All right. You have already posted a significant and enduring body of work. It will be relevant for decades. I really hope so. I mean, that's the reason I'm doing it, is I really hope it helps people. I personally want the channel to be big because I want to help people. But you never hear me ever say to like and subscribe and that kind of stuff, even though I know that would grow the channel and stuff like that. I don't like begging for stuff like that. Just like I thought about it, and the channel has been under review ever since I did my Yanni Laurel video. My channel has been up for monetization again, and it has because it was, look, I'll show you the pictures right here. This was on May 18th. YouTube partner, 3,996 needed 4,000 for review. And then after my Laurel Yanni video aired, that was the very next day. I gained like 642 hours of view time during that like 30,000 30,000 views or whatever it was. And so that's basically where I started. And since May 18th, that's how much I've grown. So in just over a month, I've grown to 1697. So that's like $100, 100 subscribers in a month, and that's not bad. I'll go over here, go to YouTube. I'll show you a couple of things. What in the world are these videos? Epic He-Man Skeletor. If I go over here, you see that's my subscriber. So I've gone up by one since I've been doing this live stream. So tomorrow, I really hope after this video airs, the one that we just edited, I hope it goes up to 1,700. And don't like go out of your way to have another account or whatever. What is that? Oh, that's Patreon. See, I have all this stuff, but I've never looked at it. If I go here to Creator Studio, load, community channel, right here, I have all the time I need. I have all the subscriptions, subscribers I need, but it needs to be under review. And look at this. Oh, your channel is now being reviewed. Okay, the last time it told me oh, okay. We're currently moving through pinning the YouTube partner applications and hoping to get caught up by the end of June. Thanks for your continued patience. So now we're practically at the end of June. So I'm waiting for them to tell me whether or not they want it to happen. And if I ever do something live streaming, and if I do accept donations or something like that for something, I will find it really hard not to donate it. I mean, first of all, whenever I watch people that have moderators online, I usually feel the need. I feel like they should be, when they have a really loyal moderator, I feel like they really should to give them a cut of it or something, pay them for their time. Because to me, it's just, if you're a moderator, you're doing a whole lot of work, and you're not getting paid for it. And I think that that's a shame. So let's see how many videos my Laurel Yanni video has right there. Oh, look at that. 30,218. So that video right there has now 30,218 videos or views, which is by far my top video. It's kind of sucks that it's that Laurel Yanni video, but whatever. Okay, let's proof this video and see if it's ready for prime time. If so, the whole thing is going to be like 3 minutes and some odd seconds. Sound speeds! Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a boom microphone in a noisy shock mount is going to give you unacceptable results. Good. In every way, shape, matter, and form. Shock mounts come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, and the suspension can be made of anything from plastic isolators to elastic bands. And you have to understand how those work and how they properly balance a microphone in order to prevent them from making noise. Shock mounts like a Sonella is designed specifically for one microphone, and by putting it securely inside, the microphone will be held precisely as designed by the plastic isolators. And so if you put a different microphone in there, it's going to be weighted different and not effective in a Sonella. Picking the right shock mount for your microphone is very important, because it's not as simple as saying, oh look, my microphone will fit inside of there. It's going to hold it just fine. No, there's a little bit more to it than that. Sound people all over the world have their preferences on how they like to properly balance their microphones inside of their shock mounts. Just like how they have their favorite microphones, they also have their favorite shock mounts, and they swear that their preferences are the very best ones. And just like any other professional sound person, I too have my own preferences when it comes down to shock mounts. And I have used everything from Universal K-Tex to the McDonald mounts, but for this demonstration, I'm going to be using one of my favorites, which is the Rycote Envision 7 Lyre. Just like anything else in life, I find that balance is key when properly positioning positioning your boom microphone within a shock mount. And there's many different schools of thought on how to properly do it, and in this video, I'm going to show you my method. Some people prefer to put as much of the microphone as they can in front of the shock mount, leaving very little in the back. That way, when they hold it over an actor, the pole stays higher and the microphone hangs lower. But in my opinion, this isn't ideal or efficient because it's not balanced. When I'm putting a boom microphone on a shock mount, first I attach the cable. Then I find the center point where it is going to be perfectly balanced. When I do that, I know exactly where the center of that microphone is, and I drop it in perfectly between two identical suspensions. That is, as long as there's equal tension on the suspensions themselves. By doing that, the microphone is centered by weight, balanced by the cable on one side and the extra tip on the other. So when I hold this over somebody, it is going to be properly balanced now. When properly centering a shotgun microphone, you'll find that the balance point is closer to the windscreen, and so it's not going to fit properly inside of an Envision 7. But you want that windscreen to stay on there, so don't remove it. So what can you do instead? An Envision 7 is not the proper shock mount for a shotgun microphone. Instead, opt for an Envision 6. This allows the microphone center to be closer to the plastic isolators, making it easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Once again, I have found the center point for this microphone. Now watch what happens. If I drop it in right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Now this microphone is properly balanced inside the shock mount, and even though it seems more wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, it is actually more secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Look at this thing. How is this good? Improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts can make all kinds of undesirable noises. Everything from clicks to whatever you would call it if you stretch your rubber band between two fingers and you gave it a little strum. Dong. Using this method to properly balance a microphone inside of a shock mount is what I refer to as a best practice. It's served me well for years, and if you don't have a similar best practice or technique that you use, then I strongly recommend that you start with this technique and then modify it and tweak it according to your own preferences. So keep this in mind because I find this to be sound advice. Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for so you won't miss out on future sound advice. That, my friend, seems like an effective video. So what we'll do is we'll go over here to Power Tools. Actually, we'll go to Fix Enhance, Edge Enhancement, turn it on, 50%, apply to all. Yep. Okay. Now, it's in the can. Well done. Time to sleep. Ha ha ha. Not hardly. You know why? Because I have a deadline. So what I'm going to do is go over here, produce, storage, finished. What is this video called? Balance. Shock mount. That shouldn't take very long to render. So what I'll do is I'll go over here to this, open with Photoshop CS2. Come on, give me my... Oh, that's right. This thing errored last time. This thing hates me. Let me just adjust this real quick. I've lost my... Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new 1920 by 1080. Yes, that's good. And I'm going to drag this onto that. Okay, so if I shrink this down, now what I can do is hold down the shift button here and drag this corner out. Now I can dial exactly in on where I want that to be. Good. Alrighty. Colors don't look bad. Still look at my levels. Alrighty. And so this is almost done. All I need to do now is do open. Thumbnails, no. I need to go to artwork, do final small, drag this over to the corner where it always goes. Close that, no. All right, so, so what we'll do now is, how, yeah, call it how to properly balance let's see, boom mic. I'll just say microphone. In shock mount. Okay, well, that was weird. Let's try that again.